And what I realized as a learning in my 40s, which when I look back now, or with hindsight, I'm like, I wish I'd pushed a little bit more towards solutions. Okay. That there is a place where you can seek to find reconciliation, and it doesn't work. I don't think we did enough of that personally. When I now look back, I'm like, hey, those were many wasted years, you know? Yeah. And so we're so afraid of getting help, or I think there's some stigma around admitting there's a problem.
We all wish there are things we knew back then, because truly hindsight is 2020. They say experience is the best teacher, but that experience does not say to be your own. Welcome to the Look Back, and I'll be your host for this podcast. My name is Faith. Today, we have a wonderful guest. Her name is Anne. Welcome, Anne.
Thank you, Faith.
I'm going to ask you a few questions before I let you introduce yourself. Is that okay?
That's great.
All right. So, Anne, when did you last buy yourself a dress?
An outfit?
Yeah.
January 2026.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, not too bad. Shoes?
Shoes I've not bought in a while.
In a while. What's the wire? That's the one I want. The wire.
Did I last buy a pair of shoes?
Last-
Honestly, I don't remember.
You don't remember? You're not a shoes person?
Not really.
Not really.
But I like my dresses.
You like your dresses, evidently. Okay. Calls or texts? Texts. Okay. Tell me why.
So, calls are one of those things. Sometimes you call people and they're busy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'll text and ask, is this a good time to call? And so I think it's just a habit.
Yeah.
And anyway, I like to write. So
that's true.
Yeah. I can text and then call when it's really necessary.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So, if you could, would you rather pause time, rewind time, or forward time?
I'd rather rewind.
You'd rather rewind. Oh, that was fast. You've had the answer immediately.
I'm like,
no,
I don't want to pause.
You don't want to pause.
Yeah.
And you don't fast forward.
No.
Okay. Do you have a time in your life you'd like to rewind to?
I think so.
Okay.
My mid-30s.
Your mid-30s. Then yes.
Yes.
What's the reason?
My mid-30s, because I think that in my mid-30s, that's where I had the opportunity, almost like to fly, you know? And in my mid-30s, of course, my children were much younger then, but I just think those were the years that you're sort of developing your understanding who you really are, at least for me. Yeah, I think that's
a good time.
Back to my mid-30s.
Your mid-30s.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's a nice time. Okay. All right, now that you've gone to your age already, please tell us.
Did we have to go over?
We had to go there. We were going there. We are here. So tell us your age and how you feel about your age.
So I'm 57.
Moment of silence.
You're 57. Actually, closer to 58.
Oh, you're about to turn 58?
Yep.
Okay.
In the month of May.
In the month of May. Okay, happy
Earlier
birthday.
in the month, thank you.
In advance.
And I feel really great. I feel great in the sense that it's a very stabilizing time of my life. I think I don't always consider age in numerics. I consider age in experience.
Okay.
And so I think at 57, some of what I learned right through my 40s, towards my 50s, my kids tell me, Mom, you're old, especially one. I'll not say which one. I'll not say which one. Say, hey, Mom, you're old. But the thing is, I don't really feel it.
You don't feel it.
Because
and you don't look it.
I know. And I thank God for that. That is the gene pool. The gene blame is from the gene.
Thank you for the good genes.
I know. Yeah, so I think I see age as the experience you've gone through. You know, what have you learned as you're growing older? Because you can actually grow older and you're digressing.
True.
You know, so I love my age.
You love it.
And I love that I feel calm, a sense of just peace. Yeah.
57 is a blessing.
Truly,
It really is a blessing. Okay. So you say 35 was like a pivotal time for you. Could you take us through what was happening at that time in terms of your life, career, anything that you could share?
So at about 35, I began to homeschool my children.
Homeschooling mom. Okay.
Voila.
Voila. Here you are. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I wear some of those many hats.
Yes.
And I homeschooled them because their dad asked if I could. At first I thought, homeschooling, that's not what I studied. I didn't study education. But I did because I felt convicted to. And I did it for 11 years, unbelievably.
Wow.
So why that was pivotal for me is it really helped me to bond with my children. And the word homeschool just means that you're teaching them at home, the house.
Yeah.
And, just getting to see their lights pop, getting to discover who I was, thinking, oh, you mean I can actually go a route I did not think?
Yeah.
And it worked.
And it worked.
Yeah. And so
11 years.
Yeah.
And when did you stop homeschooling then? At what
after
age?
11 years,
After-
when I
were
turned
you-
40,
When you turned 40.
did something about women.
When you turned
We
40.
already turned 40,
Yeah.
at least this woman.
Yes.
I told my hubby,
Yeah.
I'm not homeschooling anymore.
That's it.
Just like that.
And that was it.
He's like, what happened?
Okay.
So I think something in the brain just
Yeah.
was like, I'm actually not teaching these kids
Yeah.
anymore.
Wow.
I started getting teachers to come. I don't really know
I
what
see.
happened, but it was about that time. I
Yeah.
thought, well, about maybe a little over 40. Yeah. And so and I turned them over to the teachers,
Yeah.
but still homeschooled them.
At home.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yes.
Okay, let's pin that homeschooling story because it's a whole beautiful story.
Yes.
And I didn't even get a chance to tell you to tell us who you are. So start from there.
All right.
Yeah.
Who am I? I'll start with the priority.
Okay.
I am a child of the Most High King, a loved daughter of God. I feel like I'm one of those special daughters that's highly favored.
You are.
I am wise-ish.
Okay.
We can unpackage that at some
Alright.
point.
To pin that as
Ish.
well.
And I am a mom of 3 young adults. A young lady, Zawadi, she's 26.
Okay.
Baraka, he's 24. And Imani, who is 21. Just turned 21 in
Yeah.
February.
Adults.
Yeah, so I have grown adults.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. In terms of work, what do you do?
What do? I do many things. I take care of my household.
Very important.
Yeah, very important. But mostly right now, I'm publishing books. And I've been doing that since about 2021.
Okay.
So I consider myself pretty much a consultant.
Yeah.
I also serve at my church.
Okay.
I am recently an ordained minister. Voila. I said I wear many hats.
I should have introduced you accordingly.
No.
What do we call you by the
So I'm just Anne.
Just Anne.
Yeah,
Okay,
Anne
we'll
will
take
do.
the Anne.
Anne.
Those are mini hats.
I
Anne.
do. And what else do I do? I also mentor. I mentor with Visa Card Foundation.
Okay.
It's a branch, or rather, they partner with the GGBC, which is Global Give Back Circle,
Okay.
with Arizona University. So I have mentors out of country, in country. I love to mentor women,
You love to mentor
younger women.
And here you are, mentoring people to the camera.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yes.
Oh, Finn, you could go so many directions with all those things. What are you most proud of all the things you've said? I'm sure your children are there.
What
so
am I
they
most
are there.
proud of?
What are you other than them? Yeah.
That word "proud" is a very interesting word, but
Okay.
I guess we use it. What would you
like to replace it with?
Yes, what
Yeah.
I'd like to be maybe remembered for
Okay, even better.
is just helping people out and
Yeah.
encouraging people.
Yeah.
I think God has really given me a knack to see people hurting, and I helped a lot of people because sometimes I don't think about it, but they come back and say, when you said this,
Yeah.
that just really made my lights come on. So as far as I started with, I'm a child of God,
Yeah.
but I believe that what God has really called me to
Yeah.
be is an encourager. So I like the bright colors, I
Yes.
like to walk into a room and bring light.
Yes.
I'm not all that loud, even though I can be chatty,
Yes.
but I just love to bring change
Yes.
wherever I go.
That's
So I think
true.
that's what I'd like to be
remembered.
what I'm proud of.
Yeah.
I'm also blessed about the books are published.
Yeah, please tell us about this. Miss
those
Writer.
ones-
No wonder you like text. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
exactly, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, those ones I sort of bumped into the idea when I started writing. I'm a member of KFWN, which is the Kenya Faith Writers Network.
Okay.
And I am a trained journalist.
Yeah.
I'm in the communications world. And so I was writing my first book, which was on relationships.
Yes.
Definitely not my first writing, but it was my first book, publishing.
Yes.
And I thought, this is extremely expensive.
Oh, that's
And then I'm like, in that being so expensive, are you telling me I cannot pull this off? So I attempted to publish my own book. And voila, I think it's one of my best books
really?
so far.
The one you published yourself.
Yeah, it's called the 26 Interlocks of Weaves and Bricks.
And breathe.
Of bricks and weaves. So the bricks are the guys, the weaves are the girls.
And the girls.
So it's a love relationship sort of book.
Oh, wow.
26 is the A to Z of, how people should meet and do it right. Yeah, and so I published it. And after that, I'm like, this is a great business idea.
Okay. I could do this.
Yeah, I could do this. So, so years down the road, I've done about 15 of them.
Wait.
In and out of country.
15 of what?
Books.
You've written 15 books?
No, I've published.
You've published?
I've written 2.
I see.
I've written 2 books.
Okay.
I've co-authored 2.
Yes.
And then the rest are published for them.
So you're a publisher.
I am a publisher.
You are a publisher.
Yeah, with the Writers' Harbour.
Yes.
An organization or
Yeah.
a
Tell us
virtual
about that.
space that I actually registered in 2020.
2020. That's like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. Your list is long. Publisher.
I'm realizing.
It is long. But it's beautiful.
Thank you.
When did you start doing that? Like, when did you get into the season of I can write, I can publish? Can you tell the age? Can you remember the age?
Interesting. When I was expecting my firstborn, which is 26 years ago, because I've been in the industry in communication for a long time. And so written for newspaper and stuff. And so I realized that part of impacting is putting things down in books. Because, books live long after you're gone.
True.
So I wrote a book when I was expecting Zawadi, who's now 26.
At that point, you were 31.
I was like 31-ish. So I'd sneak now downstairs because we had a desktop.
Yeah.
Those days, I don't know if laptops were. That was a while ago. Let me not even say the year. I might spook some of your audience. But so I'd go down and put this devotional together.
Okay.
And then I took it to a publisher. I'll never forget, it was called Alive Publishers.
Okay.
A gentleman called David Warrero. He's still in the publishing industry.
All right.
And he looked at it because I was kind of writing eclectically, just kind of
Whatever
just
is
throwing
nice.
whatever comes into my mind.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is a really good idea, Anne. So after I'd done the 365 entries,
Okay.
so he says, and he's like, however, you need to themize them. You need to put them in themes. You can't just happen. Okay, he didn't tell me that, but basically,
There needs to be some kind of order.
let's put some structure into this. So I started trying to put some structure. To this day, I'm still putting it.
It's 26 years.
Actually, the other day I found it because, those days,
Yeah.
I had it written out. Then I also had it in the computer.
Okay.
And then at some point,
The
I
computer
don't remember what
crashed.
happened to the computer or went
Yeah.
was in a shop somewhere and never came back.
Yeah.
Thank God I'd written them out. So I'm like, this many years down the road, should I retype them? What do we do? Should I start themizing again? I'm like, let's just write new books.
Let's write new books.
But I still have the content.
But that's really nice. Like, you still have that. I'm sure your daughter likes to read them. Do you let her read them?
No. This particular one, I don't even know if they know that it exists.
Now they know.
Now they know.
Now they
Like,
know.
hey, mom, you've been hiding these
Yeah.
things. Really, I actually bumped into them the other day.
The other day.
Yeah, so,
Oh wow.
yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, so writer.
Yeah.
Any other in terms of career? I just want to go to that.
I edit. Okay, so part of publishing is you can do ghostwriting. Ghostwriting just means that you're not really the writer, you're not really the author, but you're taking the story of the person and putting their book into writing.
Okay.
So it's like content creation called ghostwriting. And I also edit, and that's something I did at People Daily or some 5 years or so. I was writing and editing. So I sat on what they call the sub-editing desk, where you just read the material
Yeah.
in the newspapers and, dot the I's, cross the T's. Yeah, so that's something, it's also something you learn in school, but you've got to have a desire for it. Editing is a lot of work. You can't do it when you're tired. You need to have an eye for detail, etc. What else do I do? Editing comes with proofreading, which is now reading the content word by word. Okay. Again, a different assignment. I write communication strategies. I've done that for different organizations. But I think what I love the most, we've done a lot. What I love the most is mentoring people. I love the one-on-one,
And it's funny, I wanted to mention, when you said you like to encourage people and, you've encouraged me a lot.
Yeah, have I?
You have. There's a time, I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember, but there's a time I was making a crucial career decision.
Okay.
And I was like, Nissan, what are we doing? Of course, I'd prayed about it. I was still wondering. I'm like, I need counsel, and I called you, and so I can testify to you. Do you remember?
I do remember.
Sounds familiar?
Yeah,
Okay,
sounds familiar.
Yeah. So, okay, now we're looking back.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're 57, which is mind blowing to me.
To me as well.
Yeah, to you as well. You're like, wait,
yeah, you and I both.
is it me?
For me, I'm like, when did I get here?
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we look back at your 40s? Tell me what you think of your 40s in terms of your marriage. You had said marriage-ish, so you can put it there. Your marriage-ish. And in terms of your career, just those two things, you're like, oof, you know what? I should have. And I'm glad I did, because I'm sure there's so many. You're glad you did.
Yeah.
And things you're like, yeah. Hey, 40-year-old, I'd like to tell you A, B, C.
All right. Okay, let's go there.
Let's go there.
Let's go. We're
Here.
here to help people.
Yes,
isn't it?
yes, yeah.
So I got married. So I met the love of my life at 29, at 28.
Okay.
And about a year and 2 months down the road, we were married.
Okay.
And he was a pastor.
Right.
Note I'm using was.
Yes.
And then married for like 12 years, 3 children later. And I'm not quite sure what happened.
Yeah.
To this day, I may not be very sure.
Yeah.
We're still good friends, but we've not been together for the longest time.
Right.
So, number one, that's the A to Z of my marriage story.
Let's do that. Yeah.
However, again, I was talking about age not being a number. And the reality is that every experience can teach you. And I realized my husband's a very nice guy. But we're not together.
Yeah.
And it's a pity because a lot of marriages, especially in the church, are going apart. They're falling at the seams. And what I realized as a learning in my 40s, which when I look back now, or with hindsight, I'm like, I wish I'd pushed a little bit more towards solutions. Because in life, there is nothing that's irreconcilable. But when people go distances, or a person's living out of town, you're doing life, there's no marriage that doesn't have issues or conflicts. In fact, ours didn't really have that many issues.
Yeah.
We were really good friends.
Yeah.
Even now, we are still friends.
That's awesome.
So I have my regrets,
Yeah.
but I also have my learnings. And as a pastor, as a teacher, as a leader, I know that being where I am, that marriage is a great thing, but it's not the most important thing. That there are situations where, and maybe I'm not talking about mine necessarily, I think generically speaking, that there is a place where you can seek to find reconciliation, and it doesn't work. I don't think we did enough of that personally. When I now look back, I'm like, hey, those were many wasted years. I wish before, it could have gotten worse and torn more. We would have, I wish I had the wherewithal.
Yeah.
And it sounds strange because I read a lot. I help people. I've written a relationship book. It's part of what made me write it.
Yes.
I'm like, let me help people not to go where I have gone. But what I think about that topic is that it's so important to understand what's going on inside you. Because there's things you ignore, and then you get into a crisis and you're like, hey, maybe I shouldn't have ignored those things. Maybe, these things were telling, but I wasn't able to be self-aware, which I now am. And I'm like, okay, I need to help other people not to put this route I went. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is so beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm here writing notes. I'm not writing, but I'm writing notes. I'm like, I'm in my 40s. Better write that down.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing.
Oh yeah, let me just say something else while at it.
Yeah.
I also think that in marriage, men aspire towards being a better version of themselves. Women, the way I see it, is we just morph into what's going on, because especially where they're children,
Okay.
it's like you're going with the flow. I'm taking care of kids, I'm homeschooling, but sometimes men get stuck somewhere, and as you know, we're the talkers.
Yeah.
So you'll say, I've noticed he's changed. I don't know what's going on. But if you don't put a stopgap before something gets worse, then you see there's a problem. So I think that difference between men and women is something we don't always investigate, or you don't see it coming, and then when it's too far gone, you can't really, fix it. There's a saying that a stitch in time saves 9. I don't know what 9 of what, but
I think 9 other stitches.
9 other stitches. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that just popped in my mind.
Yeah. Okay. Oof, wow. I want to just stay there. But there are many aspects to Anne.
Yeah, there
Very
are.
many. You said you're not being lifted. When did this happen?
This happened on August the 9th, which is actually my wedding date of this last year.
Okay. Wow. How did that happen?
How or
Yeah.
when?
No, like
How?
it's just interesting that it happened the same.
It did. Yeah, and actually, Jimmy, who's
Yeah.
some people call him ex, but I don't. I just call him my husband. Yeah, he actually came to my interview.
Oh, he did?
Because yes, one of the requirements was bring your spouse. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, I still have a spouse.
Yeah.
We are both here.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll take you. And so he did.
He did.
And it was beautiful. Because, just because something doesn't work,
Yeah.
I think we've got to see people with the lens that God sees them. And I honestly see him the way God sees him. And I see him as a very pertinent part of our lives, even though he's not being really present. And like to believe that God still has redemption in his story and maybe even in our story.
Yeah.
So I invited him and he came.
How
And it was
mature.
very
That's like so.
interesting.
It's very mature. That you still
I
have
am 57.
You are, that's true.
Remember? Maybe if I was in my 40s, I'd be
Maybe
like,
today I'd
wake
be
up.
like, yeah. To my email.
To
my email.
to my email. Postcard.
Postcard. I'm just thinking how in the day we live in now, people who are not together officially, like it's never beautiful.
Yeah.
Like this is a unicorn kind of story, because people, once they separate, it becomes
It's a tug of war.
it is a tug of war.
He becomes your
Especially
enemy.
children
She becomes your enemy. Like, that's unnecessary. Because, if we go the biblical way, the Bible says, we're not fighting flesh and blood. And so, in any circumstance, one time I tried to correlate that scripture in Ephesians 6 with my own life in a certain crisis, a work crisis.
Okay.
And I was saying, God, are you telling me that I'm not fighting flesh and blood
But
here?
I can see them.
This is flesh and blood. This is flesh and blood. God, you cannot tell me this is not flesh and blood.
Yeah.
It's in flesh and blood. And God said, my word is true. He said, you, now me, you're telling me, you can become somebody's warfare if they find you on a bad day and you answer them a certain way.
Yeah.
But it's not you that they're really fighting. It's what's controlling you at that moment. Isn't that so? So you're not really fighting Anne, but you're fighting that spirit of anger that's in that moment.
I see.
And that's where we miss it, because you start to realize what's the real fight. Let's understand that we have a common enemy. You're not my enemy here.
Yeah.
And that's, and I guess that's where the maturity comes. But it really, I don't know if I can call it maturity or much more revelation. That there's just certain things I understand.
Yeah.
And when I talk about being calm at 57, I think things that would have upset me in my 40s really quickly, I'm just like, I'm like, is this really worth the battle?
Wow.
I mean, why?
Why?
You know,
Yeah.
and
I'm walking away.
You walk away, but you also pray. You know, you learn what to pray about, you learn what to take on.
Yeah.
And so I invited him for my ordination. First of all, it was an interview.
Yeah. So he had to speak about you. He was being asked about you.
No, what happened was, I won't go into the details, but it became his interview. And so it was funny. We've laughed about it even after that. He's like, I'm the one who got on the hot seat. I said, Uliji later. Uliji too.
yourself.
Yeah, you know, which of course I was really happy
Yeah.
that he did. But yeah, it was really pretty cool.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So if there was someone in that situation, in their 40s, and they're maybe at the beginning of it, like what advice would you give them, especially if they have children? Because then that's another ball game altogether. What would you tell them?
Honestly, I would tell them, you know, we all pray, but how we navigate a situation moves from person to person. There's someone who'll be cool about it, someone who can sit down, but there comes a point where couples cannot untangle themselves. And that's why we have leaders, pastors. But beyond that, we also, not beyond that, alongside that, we also have counseling psychologists.
Okay.
There are therapists around.
Yeah.
And these people can help us to untie the stalemate.
Right.
They're trained, just like I'm trained in communications, you're trained in law, someone else is trained in something else.
Yeah.
You're trained to be a specialist in that field.
Yeah.
So why not just get help? You know? And so we're so afraid of getting help, or I think there's some stigma around admitting there's a problem, especially in marriage.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's just supposed to happen, but it doesn't just happen. Even sometimes at the workplace, it doesn't just happen. You're like, man, we're conflicting. I'm a believer. We are conflicting with this boss. Even in the church, there's conflict.
Yeah.
Why? Because anytime you put two or more people together,
There's bound
there's bound to be differences.
Yeah.
And it's not that you're a bad person, but it's just you're seeing things differently. The question then becomes, can you air out what you're hearing? Or whatever is conflicting you, can it be brought to the open? You know, so get a Kofi Annan in the middle.
Yeah, I like
you
it.
know, get a mediator there.
Yes.
You know,
To help.
Yeah, I think
both of you.
the law profession is also going into mediation.
Yes.
So that you actually don't have acrimony even in courts, because people can chew each other up in those courts. You know, believers as we are. Believers as we are, because this country is 98. Okay, maybe now it's less, not maybe 98, but 85-ish, 80 to 85 believers.
Christians.
Yeah. But you go check out the social media space,
Yeah.
and we insult each other. You know, you're just like, what are we doing with what we believe?
Yeah.
Are we really believers? Or are we worse than them believers? And that to me is a concern.
Yeah.
It's you know, but it spills into our marriages, it spills into our relationships and all that. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. And any advice on parenting?
Yeah. So parenting is it's like a science.
Okay.
You know, unaingia lab,
Yeah.
litmus test.
Like, does this one?
Sometimes
What does
it
this do?
blows. You're like, where? You know, who called me to be a scientist?
Surely.
But honestly, I think there is an internal mechanism that that's put within us by God to be parents. I'm not saying that it always comes naturally.
Yeah.
I think there's children who are easier to raise.
Okay.
Because again, personalities.
Yeah.
Remember, you put 2 or 3 people together, kutakuwa na difference,
Yeah.
especially as they get older.
Yeah.
But one of the things I've learned is to respect my children and to demand that they respect or require. And I have wonderful children.
Yeah.
That if you raise them right,
Yes.
honestly, you get honor from them. But how is it that I think I'm a fairly good parent? I read. I went to Stanley Mukolwe's parenting classes.
Okay.
He still offers them
Yeah.
now.
Yes, he
I mean,
does.
that time my kids were like 3. Because opening yourself up to knowledge, knowledge has power.
Yeah.
You know, you start to realize, my parents did it like this, because there's a way we default to what we saw.
True.
And so I realized, yeah, my parents did it like this, but maybe here, this personality is different. This one, I cannot handle all of them like the same.
True.
You know, so we have those conversations, and sometimes I'll ask them, am I parenting you right?
Only.
Yeah,
You're
no,
like,
mom. Yeah, mom, and I think you should do, you know, if you did this.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And you, mom, what do you think? Yeah, well, I think that, you know, when you talk to me a certain way, you know, I think that I prefer. Yeah, and so we've had those sorts of engagements.
Yeah.
And even yesterday, one of my young people was telling me, you know, mom, I'd really like it if you did this and this and that. It would really help me A, B, C, D. And I'm like, great. But, you know, in our day, I don't think you could start telling your parents, mom, this is what I think. Yeah, like,
for your suggestions?
why do we want to know?
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, I think I had pretty reasonable parents.
Yeah.
But still, you didn't just ask anything. The boundaries were right in place, invisible, but they were there. So I think that's what I've learned from parenting, that it's a give and take.
It's a give and take.
You know, and that it's not that you're always right and they are wrong. Even when it comes to their careers, I've encouraged my young people, hey, you figure out what you want to do and come, let's talk about it. You know, even when you want to push them in,
this is the direction.
Yeah, you're like, this one, keep going. This one, I see they are bent. The bend is a certain direction. But I'm like, no, you tell me what you want to do.
And we do,
you know, and then we talk about it, and I'm like, I think I agree or disagree.
And
but disagree respectfully.
Right.
You know, that's
even
okay.
if you're the parent.
Even if you're the parent.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't know everything.
True.
Yeah. But neither do they.
Very true. Yeah, maybe, that's true. You talked about homeschooling. I don't want to lose that one, because I'm sure people are like, so what was were you happy with that? What was your experience? Yeah. No, the experience of it for you, like, oh, this is a good thing. And even the motivation.
Yeah, that one has, so, you know, you can think you're doing a good thing, which was good for a season. But sometimes when I hear my children give me feedback of what they think they missed, I'm like,
okay.
Well, if I can be honest, it was out of conviction. It wasn't even because I thought that it was the thing I wanted to do.
Right.
You know, because I asked my husband, hey, when he said, do you think you could consider homeschooling? And our daughter was like 3 and our son was like 1. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, my first response was, who called me to be a teacher?
You had the face.
I was like, who called me to be a teacher? He's like, no, I'm not fighting. He's like, no, just go think about it. And I did. And so it was good while we started. I think later, with hindsight again, I may have wanted to do it a little different, where I put them into school at some point and sort of get them to work through possibly the Kenyan system, because it wasn't a Kenyan system.
Okay.
And so a few things went awry there and brought some delays that we hadn't foreseen. So that again, to me, was a regret.
I see.
But, you know, sometimes you don't sit with the regret and and it becomes your mound or your monument. Yeah, you know, you're like, hey, moving on swiftly. Okay, I mean, you know, you can't undo certain things.
True.
A lot of things you can't undo.
Oh, yeah.
You
There's
know?
no perfect system. Even
There's
those
no
who
perfect
didn't
situation.
homeschool, precisely, we have stories.
Yeah, but what I like about the homeschooling part is that I got to stay with my kids. Yeah, I mean, I still enjoy being with them. And I'm like, I'm not ready for an emptiness. I want to be a grandma, but
you can't have both.
I know. I want to have both, you know. Yeah, so I mean, so that on homeschooling. And homeschooling is challenging, but it is, I think it really nurtures the person in a different way, but it does also sometimes close them off to certain things that maybe they should have learned. Okay. So again, you can only wait and see how your children will turn out down the road.
It's true.
You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so good. Okay. So we're looking back. We want to speak to Anne in her 30s and her 40s. What do you want to tell her? You can.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
It's a long time. You're like, when was that?
So I think in life, I can only talk from my experience.
Yes.
It's good to try out different things. I'll go back to 2009.
Okay.
When I did a course on writing a blueprint for my life for like into the next 10 years.
Okay.
I think it was even longer.
Yeah.
And it was literally a course that we did where you understand who are you, what are your giftings. And that's why my 35, I still stick with my 35. I'm like, that's
an opportunity.
Energy.
That's a window.
Yeah, that was a window. What did I do with it?
Yeah.
But really, that course helped me to understand that we have so many giftings.
Yeah.
Spiritual, physical, and so much else. And I'm like, while I'm on earth,
Yeah.
and while I have the energy, what can I do that really fits who I am? And so one of the things I did, and more recently somebody called me and said, "Anne, do you still make roachkill?" I would make diamond.
Oh, seriously?
Yes, because I don't like cockroaches at all.
Yeah.
And then I started selling them. I remember I would go down Biashara Street, and I enjoyed it, go down and sell them. And these guys,
I'm adding to your list. Diamond.
but I did study business as well, so I have a bit of a business mind. And so I'd go down there, where they have all these clothes in the stalls, and they have lots of roaches. And some of the restaurants, I mean, just huge roaches. Those things can fly. Those things scare me.
They're like bad.
Those things are bad.
Yeah.
So I'd go there, and there was a mama who would be like, "Hey, we need those things. We need those. I'd make them as balls.
Okay.
She says, we need those things.
Yeah.
Because here, so in my local language, it's the roaches, she'd say, "Shioka ga shienyi tete mahede." Basically saying
They're coming like
that they come and they are holding themselves like akimbo. Like, what are we gonna? What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I'm like, I have just the solution. So that was the one thing I realized, that I have a very enterprising mind.
See.
And that I cannot go hungry. And that's what I tell my kids. Never be afraid to try.
Yeah. Let's try.
Because it's in trying
Yeah.
that you'll figure out what works.
Yeah.
When I was in my, I think, earlier 40s,
Yeah.
I thought that I really, because I love color, I like decor, I'm like, I think I can do event planning.
Let's do it.
So what did I do?
What did you do?
I went to a shop.
Yeah.
I actually wrote an email and requested to go somewhere where they fix bouquets. And then I realized, I did it one day. I said, I'll actually not be back because that ain't
It's not me.
Yeah. So if you don't try,
You won't know.
you won't know.
That's true.
And so that's what I would tell
That's what you-
people in their 30s,
Yeah.
their 40s, try.
Just try.
And try and figure, but also know who you are so that you understand your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threat. The SWOT. The SWOT. Do that test.
Yeah.
And understand where do you belong in that equation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are some of the things I did. But
like it.
bungee, is it bungee jumping? That
Yeah,
one I'm
that's
not
not on
doing.
your list?
That's what I'm not
Okay.
doing. Not in
Cancel
not
that.
in my 50s. I didn't do it in my 40s. I'm not
you're not
doing
going
it.
to do it.
Apana, you are too tafanya. No.
Sawa.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you a last question.
Okay.
Actually, two last questions. So one is, what would you like if you could ask Anne, who's 67, the Anne, may she be there?
10 years.
Yes, in 10 years. What question would you like to ask her?
That one requires some thought.
Did you require some thoughts?
10 thoughts. 10 years into now.
Now.
Would be almost I'd like to ask, did you give the very best you could give to God and to society when you were younger? Because for me, there's a scripture I wrote. I want to read it for you. It comes to mind. It's 2 Corinthians 5 and verse 9 in the New King James Version. It says, therefore we make it our aim, whether present in the body or absent, to be well-pleasing to him. And verse 10 says, for we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that each one may receive the things done in the body according to what he had done, whether good or bad. And so for me, I think it's, did I follow what was the conviction? Did I seek the approval of men or the applause of men rather than the approval of God? Is God pleased? And I'm thankful that I have a mother, she's 81 now, who has lived her life out in full.
Yeah.
She still drives, and she drives fast.
Claps.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you get encouraged by the next generation. You watch them. Those are the people that, other than reading books, of course, hearing the preaching, getting into the word for yourself, and trying out different things.
Yeah.
When you watch the next generation and people we admire, you ask, what is it that makes them stand out? Of course, it's conviction.
Yeah.
It's following through. It's one thing to have conviction. It's another thing to follow through what you really believe. Yeah. So
That's what would be.
that's what I would be asking. Did I get it right? Did I please God? Yeah.
Okay. So my very last question.
Oh, okay.
So we're asking guests to ask a question to someone. So someone in their 40s wanted to ask someone who's in their 50s, what have you done she called it an armor bearer, like to raise up an armor bearer, like someone that you can pass on the easy land, which are so many. Like how have you said that?
Okay, I think that speaks into mentorship. So one of the things I have done is supporting, particularly both in the spiritual realm. Well, everything is spiritual, but by spiritual I mean discipling.
Okay.
As well as mentoring people in the writing space. So what I ensure is that I am relevant to the mentorship spaces within the different associations I belong to, such as Kenya Faith Writers Network, such as my church, which is Calvary Worship. And so I disciple some of the young people, and what we're trying to do in the writing space, not disciple, but mentor, in the writing space is for them to take the sermons that have been preached on Sundays and turn it into a book. And so we take the younger people that are like in their 20s, most of them, and I start to, alongside another team, it's a team, and ask them, what are you writing this week? And then I do the same also for certain people who have come and said, can you mentor me? I said, sure. And, let's see how we can structure it. Being able to help people understand, how do you edit your work? How do you write nicely and professionally? There's writing and then there's writing. Yeah. So, and so why not take what you've been trained for and help other people? So I do that. And then in the spiritual space, I'm passionate about discipleship. And discipleship is basically taking people who, whether you do Bible study, which I'm in one right now, we're studying the book of Ruth with a group of women.
Okay.
And taking the truth of God's word and making it relevant. Again, it comes back to why should we make it relevant? Because we want to become authentic Christians. Is what we say what we do? Are we who we say we are? And so when you sit in a circle and ask questions, ask each other, challenge each other, then you become better. One of the other spaces I'm also in is discipling the new believers at my church. And so the younger women that's coming, and even the older ones. And I've had the honor of doing that with two former Catholic ladies. And it's beautiful to see. I love to see the lights come on, and when they ask, why can't I pray with a rosary? I grew up Catholic.
Okay.
Yeah. Half Catholic, half Presbyterian.
Half caste.
Yeah, half caste is the kingdom.
Okay.
My dad was Catholic, my mom was Presbyterian. And so we landed in both. So you sort of understand both. And you're able to help people who are asking those questions. Yeah, so I'd say that's what I'd like to say. Yeah. The other day, my son said, my youngest, he said, Mom, I'd like to understand what you do with the Writer's Harbour. So I've been bringing him into my space and helping him, because he loves to read. Helping him understand what I actually do. And one other one, I won't say too much about that one. But we're thinking that we can publish their book. I'm not even using. I'm not saying whether it's the he or the she.
Like their book,
exactly. And so you start to see that you influence but you influence all the time, but you've got to be intentional.
As well.
Exactly.
Okay, that's good. Thank you so much, Anne. I think that's it. I'm just so happy. We could stay here for a while. I'm like, okay, now subsection 2, but we have to close.
Yeah, I've enjoyed this.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope you've all enjoyed this first episode with Anne, and just picked out so many nuggets as I have. And I hope to see you in our next video. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the Look Back Show, where we get to listen to life lessons from those who've lived them.